Assalamu alaikum dear all students. Welcome to your physics online class. Today we are going to revise the unit 9, that is transfer of heat, and we are going to do the revision of the long questions of unit 9. So in this unit we are going to discuss about the transfer of heat, that how heat can be transferred from a hotter region to a colder region. So first, we are going to discuss that what is the conduction of heat. So basically the word conduction means to allow or to pass. So conduction of heat means it is the flow of thermal energy. Conduction is a basically process through which the heat can be transferred from a region of higher temperature to a region of lower temperature inside the matter. So it is the flow of thermal energy through matter from place of higher temperature to the place of low, or you can say from hotter region to the colder region. But the condition is that without the movement of the matter as a whole, means in this case the atom as a whole does not move from one place to another place. Basically the vibrations and the collisions are responsible for the transfer of heat in the process of conduction. So now move towards the explanation that the mode of heat transfers by conduction can be explained with the help of simple activity. Take an iron bar, hold one end of the iron bar in the flame of burner, and after a few seconds we will find that the other end is too hot. So it is due to the conduction. Now we will move toward the mechanism of heat conduction. So conduction of heat take place due to there are two reasons for the conduction of heat in solids. One is the vibration of atoms in a material, means the heat can be transferred due to the vibration of atoms, and the motion of free electrons in the metal. So first we will discuss the vibration of atoms. We know that in solids the atoms are very closely packed to one another. So initially when we are going to give heat to the one end of the flame, then the atoms inside that rod or atom inside that object will gain heat energy, and they will vibrate with the greater speed and collide with the neighboring atoms and transfer their energy to the neighboring atoms, and so on. This process will continue so on. So the heat energy will be transferred from one point to another point, or from hotter region to the colder region, and at last the whole rod will be heated. So initially before the iron rod is inserted into the flame, the iron atoms are vibrating about their equilibrium or mean position. As the flame heats the rod, the iron atoms near the flame begin to vibrate with greater speed. So these vibrating atoms collide with their neighboring atoms and transfer some of their energy, which in turn pass thermal energy to the further on neighboring atoms, and this process will remain so on. In this way the heat energy is transferred from hotter to colder. Now the second case is that due to the motion of the free electrons. What are free electrons? Those electrons which are free to move or which are not bound. So these are called the free electrons, and mostly the free electrons are present in the outermost shell of an atom. So when the free electrons get heat energy, they will go out from their shell and move freely, and they can collide with the other neighboring free electrons or with the atoms inside the matter, and in this way they can transfer the heat energy. So iron is a metal and contain large number of electrons that are free to move, which are called the free electrons, and these free electrons play a very big role in the conduction. So when one end of the iron is heated, the atom in the heated part vibrate more with greater speed, and the free electrons that collide with these atoms gain kinetic energy and move faster. Kinetic energy is the energy due to motion, so their motion or speed will be increases. So they diffuse into the colder part of the metal, where collisions with other free electrons and the atom occur, which results in the transfer of energy. So by this process heat energy can be transferred. Now we are going towards the practical applications of conduction. Basically conduction occurs in solids. So the cooking pots and the pans, some are the good conductors, some materials are the bad conductors, and we can take the benefit from both of them. So cooking pots and pans are made up of metals which are good conductors, while their handles are made up of plastic or wood which are the bad conductors. So the cooking pots are made up of metals because they conduct heat readily to the food inside and spread it evenly. Now the second application is plastic foam and fiberglass. These are basically the insulators, or you can say the bad conductors, which do not allow the heat to pass through. So plastic foam and fiber insulators are used in the walls and the ceiling of our homes to keep them cool in the summer and warm in the winter season. These materials are good insulators because they contain tiny pockets of trapped air, and also we know tiny pockets, so the air is also a bad conductor of heat, so they act as insulator. Now the wire gauze which we use in our laboratory or labs under the beaker, or when the spirit we place the beaker on the spirit lamp, so we put a wire gauze between them in order to spread the heat evenly, because wire gauze is a good conductor. Wire gauze is placed over flame to conduct heat outward from the flame. A glass beaker can safely be heated on the gauze because this protects it from concentrated heat of the flame. Now this next one is the pot holders and table mats, which I have told you earlier that the pot holders are made up of insulators like plastic or wood in order to avoid the burn of hand. So the use of poor conductors avoiding burning of hands and tabletop. You can see now the next one is the woolen cloths have fine pores filled with air, and air and wool are bad conductors. Thus we wear the woolen cloths in winter in order to keep ourselves warm. So thus heat from our body does not flow out and our body remains warm in winter. You can see in the figure. Now the igloos, basically this is a type of a shelter built of snow, and snow when the you can say the compressed snow or the blocks of the compressed snow behave like an insulator, so the igloos are constructed from that ice to provide the protection from wintry conditions in the northern areas. So ice and snow act as a thermal insulator and minimize the loss of heat from inside due to the conduction. Now the ice box which we use in our daily life has a double wall made up of thin iron. The space between the two wall is filled with a cork. Cork is a material which is act as insulator, which is a poor conductor of heat. So the cork prevent the flow of outside heat into the box and keeping the ice from melting. Now the soldering. Soldering is basically a instrument, or you can say a device which is used to join the small wires with one another. So this is basically used in the circuit, used for circuit purposes, for example television circuit, computer circuit or anything else. So during soldering, objects are in direct contact such as the soldering iron and the circuit board. Heat is transferred by conduction, so it is made up of iron metal which is a very good conductor. So with the help of the soldering iron we can join the we can join the brake wires or etc. So this is the conduction, its mechanism and its practical applications. So sometimes we have a number of good conductors or bad conductors as well. So just take a glance over it, that what are the good conductors. Some material allow heat to conduct through them easily. They are called the heat conductors or good conductors. For examples, metals are the best heat conductors like copper, silver, aluminium, gold. And what are the bad conductors? Some materials that do not allow the heat to conduct through them are called bad conductors or insulators, and the examples are, for example, wood, rubber, plastic, paper, fiberglass are the poor conductors. Now the next mechanism through which, now the next question is the conduction in solid, liquid and gases. Conduction in solids, mostly conduction occur in solids, liquid and gases among them solids are the best conductors of heat, and we can say that conduction process occur in solids. And what about liquid and gases? We will talk about it further later on. So conduction is the flow of thermal energy through matter from place of higher to lower temperature, as we know. Now conduction in solids will be occur due to the vibration or motion of the free electrons, because it contains closely packed atoms and free electrons, and these electrons play a very important role. Thus the metallic solids are the good conductors, and solid like plastic, wood are the bad conductors. Now what about liquids? In liquid, the intermolecular distance is large than the solid, so the rate of conduction is very smaller than the solid. Therefore the liquids are the poor conductor. For example, water is a poor conductor of heat. You can see in the diagram, place a piece of ice at the bottom in the test tube and a wire gauze just above on it, and fill the tube with the water and burn the candle at the other end, and the test tube must be placed inclined. So you will after some time observe that the above water which is above the candle, under which the candle is burning, that certain specified portion is going to be warm or boiling, but the ice piece which is placed at the bottom does not melt. It means the water between them act as an insulator, and it does not allow the heat to pass through. So the water at the test tube at the top of the test tube can be boiled without breaking the ice melt. Now conduction in gases. As we know that the distance in case of gases is much more than the liquids and solids, so therefore the rate of conduction is very small as compared to solid and liquids. Thus the gases are the poorest conductors. So air is a mixture of gases, therefore these are large intermolecular distance. So air has about 1/20th of the thermal conductive ability of water. Now the next mechanism is the convection of heat. That actually the process in which heat can be transferred from higher temperature region to lower, but due to which process? Convection. And this process mostly occurs in fluids. Fluids means combinedly it is called liquid and gases. So convection cannot occur in solid, because the atoms in the solid are located in the fixed position and cannot change their place. So for the same reason, convection occur very easily in gases and liquids. So let's have some experiment. Take some water in a beaker and drop it in a few crystals of potassium permanganate. Heat the water gently. The colored water moves and streaks of that purple color begin to rise, and cold water from sides takes its place. Means it is replaced by the cold water, and the convection process is going to be start, because the water which is at the bottom gains amount of heat energy, and it will become less dense, and being less dense it will move at the top, and the water present at the top being more dense will move at the bottom. So due to this circulation and replacement, at the end the whole water will be heated and colored as well. So the water will go on circulating and becomes hotter and hotter, and in this way each part of water is heated, and the currents set up in the process are known as convection currents. Basically the convection currents are the rising thermals. You can say that the streaks of the water which is heated and being less dense move upward. Now the mechanism of convection of heat can be explained by the behavior of the medium between the hot and the cold object. The heated portion of the water at the bottom of the beaker expand and become less dense, as I have told you. Then being less dense the water moves upward, and being cold dense the water moves downward, and the circulating process will be result in the process of convection. Now the practical applications of the convection will be heating water, which we have discussed. Sea breeze means convection causes coastal breeze. For example, during the daytime sun shines equally on land and sea, but the land heat up more quickly than the sea. The hot air over the land rises up because it is less dense, and the cold air from the sea blows and replaces it. So in this case, the sea breeze during the day and the night reverse will be happen. So the land cools more quickly than the sea, and the hot air over the sea rises and the cold air from the land replaces it. This movement of air is called land breeze. Now the riding on thermals, you have observed sometimes that the birds can fly without flapping their wings because thermals are basically the stream of hot air rising in the sun. They are convection currents. So birds are able to fly for long hours on thermal without flapping their wings. Similarly, the paragliders or the glider aeroplanes are able to rise by using the riding on these thermals. Now the refrigerator, which is present in our homes, is also the application. In our refrigerator, convection is used to circulate the cold air around the food. Air is cooled by the freezer compartment at the top, and as it sinks, it replaced by the warmer air. So the circulating air carries heat energy away from the food. Now the ventilation, which are also present in our rooms, our houses, that convection currents are used in ventilations. The warm and the stale air inside the room rises up and escape out through the opening near the ceiling. Basically, the ventilations are near the ceilings. So smoke and hot gases from the fires in the houses and factories rise up and escape through the chimneys, as we also use ventilations or the chimneys in our kitchens. So you can see in the figure, the chimney, hot air rises up and escaped. Now the last one, the process of heat transfer is radiation, means the no requirement of medium. For example, in case of solids, the medium must be there. In case of liquid or gases, medium must be there. But in case of, we can say that the radiation is that process in which if there is medium, so it's okay. But if there is no medium, then still the radiation process occur and heat can be transferred from hotter region to colder region without any medium. So the heat transfer from hotter to colder with or without having a medium in between is called radiation. For example, the hot fire radiation heat rays, just as light rays, when these rays fall on everything, they make that object hot. Sun rays reaches us after passing through millions of kilometers in empty space, or you can say vacuum. So the sun heat reaches us by radiation. Now what is the mechanism of radiation? Basically, the mechanism of radiation is heat energy will be transferred through electromagnetic waves or the electromagnetic radiations which are come from accelerating electric charge. So these radiations can transfer energy through empty space or vacuum around us. Every object around us is continuously radiating unless its temperature is at absolute. Now for example, a scoop of ice cream has a temperature of about 273 Kelvin. Therefore it radiates, means when you come close your hand to near to the ice cream, you can felt the radiation. Although these are very cold, but everything radiates. Examples are the hot bodies, sun turned on electric bulbs, charcoal fire, light, heat and other waves. Now the practical applications first are coloring materials. The cooling fins on the heat exchanger at the back of refrigerator are printed black. You have observed that they lose heat more quickly. So saucepans that are polished are poor emitters and keep their heat longer. In general, surfaces that are good absorbers of radiations are good emitter when hot. So it depends on the nature of the material, surface of the material, texture, color. Radiations depend. The dark colors are the good absorbers and the light colors are the good reflectors. Now the texture of surface, one type of radiant barrier material, Armafoil, produced by energy efficient solution. Basically this is a material, this is a Armafoil sheet which is used during the construction of the buildings in order to avoid the heat transfer, act as insulator. Now satellite protective coating, highly reflective material is used in order to save the satellite from a harmful radiations. Thermos flask which we used in our daily life, the vessel which is used to prevent heat transfer, like an insulator due to conduction, convection, radiation. All the three processes occur in case of thermos flask, but the object or the liquid will remain hot. So it consists of a double-walled glass vessel, silvered on the inside. The purpose of the silvering is to reflect our radiant heat trying to enter or leave the vessel. So the space between is highly evacuated to prevent convection. Vacuum is present there. So the glass, being a poor conductor, minimize the conduction. A hot liquid or a cold thing is placed in the flask will remain for long time because flow of heat from the outside or inside is very small. Insulators are present over there. That's why. Now let's just see that what are the good absorbers and emitters. So you have to know that the body which absorbs all the radiations or the maximum radiations is called the good absorber. It is also known as black body. Like we know that we prefer in winter the dark colors because they are the good absorbers, and we prefer the light colors in the summer because they are the good reflectors. So bad absorbers and emitters are the body which absorb minimum radiations and reflect maximum radiations falls upon it are known as the bad absorbers or good emitters or good reflectors. So explanation: some surfaces are better absorber than the other, like a black color absorb more and white ray reflects more. A dull black kettle absorb heat better than a silver kettle. Standing in the sun, a black car warms up quickly than the car with any other color. So a black saucepan cools down quickly than any other, means the body which absorb radiation quickly, they will emit them also quickly. So hot water in a kettle covered with soot cool faster than a similar kettle having a shining surface. Which factors affect the rate of energy transfer? Basically the color and the texture, surface temperature and area as well. Examples are: white cloths are worn in hot climates because white is a good reflector and a poor absorber, and black cloths are black colored cloths are worn in cold climate because dark is a poor reflector and good absorber. So this is the long question revision of unit number 9. Thank you.